Alright, time to piss off the internet. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we will be talking about the 7 things I hate about my 2016 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. So by no means am I saying that I hate this car. That's not true at all. I absolutely love this car. But if you go look at my last video, that was 8 things I love about this car. And so, you know, to complement that video, you do a video about things you hate about the car, just to kind of make it fair. Every car on the market has something you could gripe about. So these are 7 things that I'm going to gripe about with my car. So number 1 is something every Scat Pack owner will agree on, and that is the stock wheel and tire setup on these cars is simply not enough for the amount of power these cars put down. The Scat Pack comes stock with a 9-inch wheel and 245 width tires. Now, 245 width tires on a car that has very close to 500 horsepower, it's just absolutely crazy that they would even attempt to do that. And it's just, you know, it's really silly, honestly. When you buy these cars, you try to accelerate and you'll just spin the tires. Now, the other problem with this is the fact that the wheels that come on the car are only 9 inches wide, meaning if you're trying to upgrade your tire size, you can, but only to a 275. That's the maximum safe recommended tire width that you can go to. So many people buy these cars and then are instantly forced to buy some new tires if they actually want to utilize the power that these cars have. And something that I recently found out is the fact that even if you upgrade to 275s, that's still really not enough for the amount of power these cars put down. If you really want to take advantage of the power these cars have, you straight up have to buy some drag radials, otherwise you'll just be spinning. Number 2 is the fact that the air conditioning on this car absolutely sucks in the hot summer months. I got this car in mid-March and didn't have any problems with it until recently, when the temperatures outside have been well over 100 degrees. Now, the other day I ran into an instance. I had 2 friends sitting in the back seat. The AC was on complete max cold, and they were sitting back there just straight up dying. They were like, please turn the air conditioning on. And I was like, it is on, it's on max. So the air conditioning in the back seat is pretty much useless. It really hasn't done much for anybody that sat back there. And even up here in the front, it's really not that great. It doesn't blow as cold as I would like it to, or as strong. The center vents blow a lot harder than the ones on the outside. So it's like, I guess the routing of the pipes and stuff for the air conditioning aren't efficient. I don't know. But basically the air conditioning is not that great when it's really hot outside. If it's, you know, a mild day, then you probably won't even notice it, won't have any issues. But times when it does get really hot outside, something that, you know, I definitely would complain about. Number 3, the headlights that come on this car from the factory are just complete garbage. Now, you can fix this by opting for the tech package, I believe, which is another $2,000 or something, and then you get HIDs. But unfortunately, these cars do not come stock with HIDs, even though you're paying, you know, over $40,000 for this car. So the stock headlights are some kind of halogen bulb or something. They don't work that great. You really can't see much on the road at night when you're trying to drive. They don't really look the best because they kind of have, you know, a yellowish tint to them. So I'd like to eventually switch them out, although I'm really not sure what route I would go doing that. But, you know, if you had the HIDs, I'm sure it's not a problem. But the stock bulbs, headlights, they're just not that great. Number 4 is going to be Dodge's quality control. The only issue I've had with this is the fact that my remote start doesn't work. When I click the buttons, it basically just ignores the command and doesn't remote start. I've had buddies with sunroofs and the sunroofs won't open or close. I've seen people like on forums and stuff where their backup cameras will just completely go out. It'll just be a black screen. So weird stuff like that. My buddy RedScat392, who I mention a lot, he has a Scat Pack and somehow his came from the factory with an SRT steering wheel. So it's almost like they just reached into a parts bin and decided that that one looks good on the car. I don't know how he got that. So really, it's a bunch of simple things. I have a lot of friends with these cars, and I haven't really seen anybody get stranded on the side of the road or have any major issues, like nobody's caught on fire and burned and died. So that's good, but there are some small little quirks that, you know, I guess need to be worked out with these cars. But, you know, every car manufacturer is going to be like that. This is the time when all the Ford and Chevy guys are like, oh, you suck, you bought a Dodge, it's going to break down. But really, Ford and Chevy have just as many problems. So do Toyota, Honda. I mean, every car, doesn't matter what, every car will probably have some kind of problem here or there just somehow in its lifetime. Another thing to add to this is sometimes the panel fitment on panels can be slightly off. I've seen, you know, several people that, you know, they're kind of misaligned and stuff, and I guess they can get them fixed, but still, you know, something kind of annoying. Also, the seats, I've seen them kind of like crumple up with the leather. I haven't had any issues with mine, so really my car's been pretty good, other than the remote start issue. But, you know, little things here and there, the quality control, you know, Dodge has definitely stepped it up post like 2008, I guess, 2010. I don't know when they like really started to become much better, but just recently, you know, they've really stepped it up, and Dodge is doing a great thing. by completely moving their company in the right direction, but still, there's stuff that they could improve on. You know, just a couple little small things to gripe about. Number 5 is the fact that when you buy these cars, they're really not that customizable from the factory. Now, when I bought this car, my options were either buying this or a brand new Camaro, and I looked at both options very closely. And when I was looking for the Camaro, I noticed, you know, you could change all kinds of interior things, like, oh, you want this leather thing to be red? Okay, we'll do that. Or like seat belts, or like, I don't know. But I feel like Dodge should have different options where you can, you know, really make your Scat Pack or Hellcat or SRT your own, and change the colors of things, or add, you know, like stripes or like hood graphics or something. But Dodge really doesn't give you that many options. They kind of are just like, here's a technology package if you want this, or here's blind spot monitoring, or, you know, it's just like some simple things here and there. But Chevy and Ford and, you know, a lot of other manufacturers, when you're buying a car for this much money, you have a lot of other options that you can, you know, add to it to really customize it and make it your own. So I'd like to see Dodge really improve on, you know, making their car, you know, making it your own. Maybe I'm weird, but if I'm spending this much money on a car, I don't want it to look exactly like somebody else's. I want it to be my own, and little details like that I'm a huge sucker for. You guys know that. So, you know, all in the details. I'd like to see more details and more stuff included from Dodge. Now, number 6 is something I wouldn't gripe about unless I didn't own the previous generation Charger. So this car has the optional Beats audio system, which I do really like, in fact. But for some reason, the bass in this car doesn't hit as hard as the bass did in my 2014 Charger with the exact same audio system. So, you know, it's something that nobody would ever notice unless they owned the previous generation. I do think that the treble and the overall sound is better in this car, but just the fact that the bass doesn't hit as hard, it feels like I'm missing something now because I got used to the other one. So when I'm listening to music, yeah, it sounds good, but I'm always feeling like, you know, the bass should be a little bit more. And, you know, yes, I'm aware you can change the bass settings on the center screen. I'm not a total idiot, I'm just a partial idiot. But even with them at the same settings, I feel like the other one, it just had, you know, better bass. I mean, there's an 8-inch sub in the trunk, and I feel like it was just better on the other Charger. I don't know why. Maybe my mind is playing games on me, but I don't know. And last but not least, number 7, these damn Brembo brakes squeal like a pig when you're trying to stop. I don't understand how they can squeal this much. So, you know, you pull up to a car meet and you're like, damn, that's a nice car. And then you pull up and it's like, ee! And they're like, oh, damn. It's just something really annoying about this car, and it's like, why do you do that? Stop. So the only conclusion I've come to is the fact that they do it a lot more when they get dirty and are covered in brake dust. That seems to be when the problem happens a lot. Now, I would show you right now, but it just rained today, so they're really not doing it today. So generally it happens probably 60–70% of the time is when it's like pretty noticeable and pretty bad. And I do believe this problem is pretty common among high-end sports cars. I've seen like videos of high-end Lamborghinis and Bugattis and stuff, and the valet and their brakes are squeaking, you know, just as bad. So, but it's also very annoying as an owner because, you know, you want your car to, you know, sound perfect, and then having that sound come out of your car is not perfect, and just, you know, I absolutely hate that sound, and something, you know, definitely just piss me off. So those are the 7 things I've come up with that I hate about my car. Like I said before, by no means am I saying I hate this car. I absolutely love it. And if you'll notice, none of these are really big issues, and the good definitely outweighs the bad. So should these things sway you away from buying one of these cars if you're in the market for it? Hell no. As I'm sure you've noticed in the list, none of these things are really big issues, but they are just some, you know, little small things that can be annoying to an owner. But every car is going to have stuff like that, and the good definitely outweighs the bad. These cars are absolutely awesome, especially for the price you pay. It really is a bang for your buck, and I've absolutely loved owning mine. So thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe for more Scat Pack content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.